earlier tomorrow. We know the temperatures get a little cool at night. We got to start a little bit early on a Saturday, so 5:45 unofficially the qualifying time for the USMTS Modifieds tomorrow evening to wrap up the 12th annual Texas Spring Nationals. And of course, if you can't unfortunately be here in person, Racing Dirt TV or Race on Texas will have you covered on the live broadcast.
So it looks like the lineup has been settled. Field is double file off of turn number 4. So it looks like we're going to get the one to go signal the next time by.
So being informed, those of you tuned in on Racing Dirt TV, we know the stream took a little bit longer than what we saw the lights come on here at the Rocket Raceway Park, and we had another outage there for a moment in the tower that caused us to come up a little bit late. So those of you tuned in on Racing Dirt TV, again, that's what's going on. We do apologize for that. Got the stream up as quick as we could get going. But again, we're back here live from Petty, Texas at Rocket Raceway Park in tonight's Stock Car A main. Don't believe you actually missed, but any racing there took a little while to get back going on that restart. So again, welcome back to Petty, Texas. We're back underway in the Stock Car A main.
With that said, the 82 of Shelby Williams in a big move on the restart. Started third, now leading this one. The 8M of McMillan working to the outside. He's taking over the runner-up spot away from the 47 of Trey Melton. The 74 of Jason Joslin having a little bit of trouble last time by through 3 and 4. Looks better this time off of turn number 4 as the 82 of Williams continues to lead.
Yeah, Shelby Williams looking very good in this one. Started 4th row on the outside. I believe he was in the final redraw spot there, but he's rolled his way forward in that 82. McMillan back up to his outside, though. Good two-car race out in front of the field. McMillan going to nab the lead back from the 82.
McMillan's got her wound up around the top side of the speedway. He'll take the lead down the back straightaway into 3 and 4. The 82 of Williams now going to switch lines, maybe follow McMillan off at turn number 4 as he saw a little bit more speed up the top side of the speedway. The 47 of Trey Melton continues to run in the 3rd spot, quite a bit of a distance ahead of the 74 Jason Joslin, and Arian Stewart rounds out your top 5.
Laps clicking away. Tonight's Douglas Distributing USRA Stock Car A main. Halfway through now. 8 in, 8 to go. McMillan leads. Williams in 2nd. Melton in 3rd. Joslin in 4th. And now Arlen Stewart into the top 5. J.D. Jackson just outside of those top 5 runners as we complete lap number 9. Race is on for the top spot once again. This time Shelby Williams is going upstairs through turns 1 and 2. He'll try to track down McMillan.
McMillan last time through 3 and 4 just about drove it off the top side of the speedway. That allowed the 82 to close heavily on the 8M. That time by McMillan a little bit better through 3 and 4. Able to stave off the challenge from the 82 right now. Williams looking to reset back into 3 and 4 and try it again.
Good race out in front of your field. Good race for 3rd as well. Trey Melton and Jason Joslin. Those two race out in West Texas with one another quite often. They're side by side down the front straightaway in the race for 3rd as Shelby Williams is back alongside James McMillan for the lead as well. 2 good races to watch. One for the lead, the other for 3rd. Side by side once again for the top spot. Working off of turn number 4. It's still McMillan over Williams. Jason Joslin now back into the 3rd place spot ahead of Melton as Arlen Stewart rounds out your top 5 runners, and now Melton has to duck off into the infield in the 47.
Back up front, watching the battle for the lead. McMillan continues to hold down the top side of the speedway. So far, the 82 of Williams can't find a way by. Now problems for the 82 of Williams. He stops off the top side of turn number 2. That'll bring us back to another caution. With 13 laps down, 3 laps to go. The 82 of Shelby Williams challenging for the top spot. Problems for that race car as he drove it right off the top side of turn number 2.
Yeah, tough break there for the 82 of Williams. Looks like some crews making their way out there to the top side of turn number 2 for the 82 of Williams. We'll see what transpires there as James McMillan will have the lead now to himself. Jason Joslin will be scored in the 2nd place spot. Arlen Stewart in 3rd. J.D. Jackson now in 4th as Chris Webb will now round out your top 5 by virtue of Williams having issues in the 82. Again, we'll mention again for the folks watching on Racing Dirt TV, we know that stream came up a little bit later. The lights were already on when you guys were tuned back in. However, you did not miss any racing there. We just had a second power flash up in the booth that caused that stream to come up a little bit later than we were able to quite get going there. So appreciate your understanding and patience with that, as well as everyone, of course, in attendance here this evening also. So, Pat, we've seen a few restarts in this one. 3 laps to go. What are you looking for? Jason Joslin, he's going to have a chance now in the 74, as well as Arlen Stewart in that 3.
Yeah, I think they can. Shelby Williams, a tough break there. That was a great race for the lead, and I think he was starting to kind of get that one lane down figured out a little bit. And so maybe these guys behind, they've kind of been able to watch that transpire and see if they can mount that same kind of challenge here in these last few laps.
So, race fans, you can start getting those 50-50 tickets at the conclusion of this Stock Car A Main. We will call the winning 50-50 ticket number, so start getting those ready. You'll be able to claim your ticket down underneath the flag stand. So have those ready as we're back green. Here tonight's Douglas Distributing USRA Stock Car A Main, 13 in and 3 to go. Anybody's game now through turns 1 and 2. Jason Joslin on the hustle through the middle. Upsets the car for a moment. Arlen Stewart in the picture, as well as J.D. Jackson now. A 3-car race for the second place spot. Keeper trying to make his way up through the field as well in the 2-car.
McMillan continues to work the top side of the speedway. He pulls away from the 74 Joslin. Now Arlen under attack from the 110J of J.D. Jackson. Those two racing side by side through turns 3 and 4. White flag 1 to go. Problems at the bottom side of turns number 3 and 4. The number 2 of Zeb Keeper. Also looks like he's collected another car. Can't quite make out the number on...
I believe that's Michael Risky Sr., potentially in the 29.
It's that glasses thing we talked about again. So Michael Risky and the 2.
We're going to have to send you to Deathridge Opticians is what we're going to have to do.
Well, you know, that's what I'm saying. I just went to the eye doctor the other day and need to get
Greg can hook you up.
Paging Greg Deathridge. I believe he's here tonight. I've got the prescription card with me. If he'll make his way to the booth, we might be able to get that taken care of.
Yeah, but Greg is here. I talked to him a little bit earlier in the night.
But no, he hooked me up last year on my glasses and sunglasses. You know, Greg, a fantastic guy, huge supporter of dirt track racing, and glad to know him. Glad to have a friend in him. And again, if he might want to come visit the booth, I've got a prescription card to give him for sure.
I want to give a shout out as well to Brian Denikus, the voice of the Hamilton County Speedway. We were talking about that racetrack a little bit earlier. He's also the promoter there at Sports Park Raceway in Fort Dodge, Iowa. He's tuned in. He was asking, he resorts back to a comment made from the Humboldt Speedway, asked if you and I were going to work on the Cha-Cha Slide or the Cupid Shuffle. I think it was the Cupid Shuffle that was like never ending that I was telling you guys about from
well, if I'm
King of America weekend. But the answer to that, regardless, Cupid Shuffle, Cha-Cha Slide, either answer is no, is my answer.
Well, yeah, I would have to say if we're doing anything together, if I have to pick between the two, gun to my head, we're doing the Cha-Cha Slide. I'm not doing the Cupid Shuffle with you, Bryce. I'm sorry.
Fair enough.
Oh, no. Big problems down the back straightaway. The 74 of Joslin, a power plant expiring underneath the hood of that race car. Cars bunched up together. The 82 of Williams went for a ride. The back end of that car jumping off of the racetrack by about 3 or 4 feet, and everybody else wadded up behind him. Pat Graham, I'm sure, down in the infield on scene trying to check out what happened. Pat, that was an interesting situation that developed down the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4. What do you see from your viewpoint?
Unfortunately for the 74 car, I think he blew a motor coming out of turn 2, and everybody else was just was on avoid mode at that point, and the Shelby Williams in the 82 was very fortunate to get it up on 2 wheels and come back down. That's the second time in the last 2 or 3 laps that's happened to him. So yeah, unfortunately I think for the 74 car, just a motor expired, and the guys were just trying to avoid him.
Definitely an unfortunate situation. Again, glad it wasn't any worse than what it ended up being over there at the top side of turn 3. And Brian, Bryce, I know Brian messaged you back and forth after the dance conversation there a little bit.
You got a chuckle out of it.
Yeah, of course, Brian.
At least 3 people did, you, I, and him. I don't know if anybody else really cares too much. I just remember the Cupid Shuffle that night. We had to race at 10 o'clock the next morning after a long Friday night, and I woke up to the party in the barn, and more power to the people that were mentally able to go out there and partake with the band. But I swear the Cupid Shuffle had a Freebird length rendition taking place that night, just outside where we were sleeping.
Yeah, it was a King of America to remember last year when you raced basically 3 shows within a 32-hour period. A lot of racing action taking place, and yet we still decided to throw a party in the middle of it. It was
no refunds on the band, I'm pretty sure. Whitworth ain't dealing with that. You don't get your free money, guys.
Right? So fun to say the least. Looking forward to King of America this year, and talking about Brian Denikus. Got an opportunity to meet him at Lucas Oil Speedway during the USRA Nationals last year, and a great guy, as well as Shane Freeby, Corey Riggs, the entire crew at Lucas Oil Speedway. More than a couple of times last year, welcomed me up in there into the booth and just to kind of hang out, check things out, and get a chance to learn from them. It was a neat opportunity, and can't say thank you enough to all of those guys.
Man, what a great group of guys, and what a great event, too. The Summit USRA Nationals there at Lucas Oil Speedway. Hey, the factory stocks, the limited mods under the USRA banner, they get to go to Wheatland this year. They're going to be added to the program October 3rd through the 8th. So we certainly invite everybody out there. A great week of events. We had the promoters go-kart race. We had kickball. We won't talk about kickball because Tyler Rinkin won the tournament. But we had a lot of cool things that week. Had a lot of fun. Talk about a great vibe. I mean, this weekend's vibe were great, but you talk about Lucas Oil Speedway and the first edition of the Nationals there, just a great time, and we invite everybody else out to enjoy that going forward. Hopefully you can make it out. A few more shout-outs to give here. Scotty Allen's tuned in. He mentioned the 08 car out in front. That's an Allen Auto Sports car, so happy to have Scotty Allen tuned in from the metropolis of Urbana, Missouri. So shout-out to him. Logan Staley tuned in. He's on the road doing some detailing work. He's in Louisiana, so one state over. Another viewer from Louisiana, Zach Clark, tuned in here tonight. He's going to be the voice at Arclatech Speedway, of course, so happy to have Zach Clark tuned in as well here this evening.
Yeah, I got a message a little while ago from Tyler Kidwell, driver the number 54 USRA B mod at the Humboldt Speedway. Also 81 Speedway as well. He's ready for practice tomorrow at the 81 Speedway up there in the Wichita, Kansas area. And he's a perennial contender for the Battle at the Bull Ring events there. A pair of $10,000 to win events this year, both at the Battle at the Bull Ring and King of America. Tyler Kidwell is going to be in the conversation. So want to give a shout out to him. And Tyler, hope you got that thing tuned up and ready for us, bud. It's going to be a great show all March long.
So here we go. White flag is going to wave in place of the green. A one-lap shootout to decide tonight's Douglas Distributing USRA Stock Car A main. And Arlen Stewart's going to pull the trigger on this one. McMillan's out of shape on the restart along the top side of the racetrack. Final lap to get it done. Arlen Stewart to the checkers down to the inside. McMillan along the high side. Shelby Williams as well. Checkers in the air, and Arlen Stewart's going to take the win.
Arlen Stewart snookering a win away from the 8M of James McMillan. Shelby Williams will finish third. Paul Peters finishes fourth. John Winters rounds out your top 5 in Douglas Distributing USRA Stock Car A feature action. 1 down, 3 to go tonight here, Bryce.
So start getting those 50-50 tickets ready. We will call that in the next few moments. Meanwhile, Arlen Stewart pulls into ballistictrailersales.com. Victory Lane. Pat Graham will have a word with Arlen there after an exciting finish to tonight's Stock Car A main.
Hey, Bryce.
we'll let him get his helmet off there. Eric and Bryce, that had a lot of excitement those last few laps and the last few restarts. But we'll let him get unbuckled there. He's got the hat on. There he is, folks. Up on the car. Give him a hand. Arlen Stewart, nice win. Woo! Congratulations. Hey, I want to ask you one quick question. How about the lights out? What was that? How was that sitting there, and what happened for that time?
I've been on the reverse end of that and got my whole stuff totaled out once before. And I was paying attention to the guy with the white bumper. And I was like, I hope they can see my black one. That's all I can care about.
Hey, on the, those last couple restarts kind of happening, you probably got to start thinking, hey, I might got a shot at this. And then at that last restart, you got the jump and away you went.
Well, let me tell you what happened before. I bottomed out over here, and that's what kept me out of that wreck. When I bottomed out and pushed to the top, I salvaged the wreck. Didn't get a scratch on her. So, and then it was just all free-for-all for the restarts. That's the way I look at it. Everybody was going.
Well, that's what counts. Tell us who helps you get here and the crew and sponsors that make you up and down the road.
My main sponsor on this car for this year is my very best friend, Vicki Harrison from Frank Harrison Auto. And my boss, actually, at Misstate Transmissions, he helps me get here. And other than that, my son come with me tonight, and we're going to be here tomorrow night.
There you have it. Your feature winner tonight in the stock car class, Arlen Stewart. Let's give him a big hand.
So Arlen Stewart taking home the win tonight in your USRA Stock Car A feature event. Race fans, grab those 50-50 tickets out. Your winning 50-50 ticket number is 230230. Again, that winning 50-50 ticket number 230230. As the lucky 50-50 winning ticket here this evening. Up next, the Byline Surveying USRA Factory Stock A feature event on the racetrack. We'll go ahead and give you the starting lineup on the pole. From Willis Point, Texas, the 98 is Chris Davis. To his outside from Enos, Texas, the number 10 is Nate Dixon. Inside of number 2 from Dallas, Texas, the 1W is Walter Hamilton. To his outside from Mount Ida, Arkansas, the number 4 is Chad Abernathy. On the inside of number 3 from Paris, Texas, the 5V is Michael Smith. To his outside from Forney, Texas, the 62 is Destin Choate. On the inside of row 4 from Bonham, Texas, the 104 is Jason Guarva. To his outside from Patterley, Texas, the 2H, that's Marty Hicks. On the inside of row 5 from Blossom, Texas, the 4B is Kyle Blanton. To his outside from Forney, the 123 is Brett Jensen. On the inside of row 6 from Greenville, Texas, the 157 is Brad Cruz. To his outside from Quinlan, Texas, the 18 is Tim Claunch. On the inside of row 7 from Grand Prairie, Texas, the 25 is James Moon. To his outside from 7 Points, Texas, the 197 is Gary Fitch. On the inside of row number 8 from Crandall, Texas, the 31 is Timothy Hardman. To his outside from Blossom, Texas, the 94 is Dustin Nation. From Patterley, Texas, on the inside of row number 9 is the 7K of Billy White. To his outside from Paradise, Texas, the 51R is Ricky Shepard. Inside of row number 10 from Fort Worth, Texas, the 51X is Ruben Broussard. To his outside from Bonham, Texas, the 952, that's Cody Herndon. Inside of row number 11 from Arkeely, Oklahoma, the 13B is Brian Baker. To his outside from Salina, Texas, the 22C is Richard George Jr. Your final row here tonight from Mount Ida, Arkansas, the number 4A is Ty Abernathy. And from Arkeely, Oklahoma, the 413, that's Christopher Bledsoe. 24 cars slated to go 20 laps for tonight's Byline Surveying USRA Factory Stock A feature event.
So there we go. Out comes the green flag for tonight's Byline Surveying USRA Factory Stock A main. 3 wide right out of the gate. 3 heavy hitters at the front of this one as well. Chris Davis, Nate Dixon. In the middle of that 3 wide was defending USRA Factory Stock National Champion Walter Hamilton. Still a pretty good race out in front of your field as we complete lap number 1. Will be Nate Dixon in car 10.
Dixon going to lead around the top side of the speedway. Walter Hamilton, though, giving chase around the bottom part of the racetrack. Dixon a little bit better off at turn 2. He'll nose ahead into 3 and 4, but here comes Hamilton on the bottom side. Side by side to the flag stand. Dixon going to lead lap number 2.
So Dixon still leading along the top side of the racetrack. They're door-to-door for the lead, though. Walter Hamilton along the inside. 1W powers down to the inside of the 10 of Dixon. Remain door-to-door, working off at turn number 4. New leader this time by Walter Hamilton, now on top of the 1W.
Hamilton has managed to wrestle away the bottom side of the racetrack, and that's a good sign for the upcoming USMTS Modified A-Feature event. That's what we wanted the racetrack to do. The bottom side has come in. Top side still strong. They're nearly side by side once again. Meanwhile, problems for Choate, the 62. He'll pull it to the infield, stays under power, so we stay green for now as we continue to race for the lead down the back straightaway.
Yeah, good side-by-side battle for the lead. Side-by-side battle for third as well between Michael Smith and Chad Abernathy. That race out in front, though, a good one. Nate Dixon snags the lead back at the line that time around over the 1W of Walter Hamilton. They'll race wheel to wheel once again down the back straightaway. These byline surveying USRA factory stocks not disappointing here tonight at Rocket Raceway Park. Door to door, and now Hamilton will slide up in front of the 10 of Dixon. Little contact. Front bumper to the rear bumper of the 1W there, the 10 of Dixon. In that second place spot, back up to the outside of Hamilton, once again working off of turn 4.
Hamilton continues to lead off the bottom side of turn number 4. Dixon, though, continuing to be strong around the top side of the speedway. Now the 5V of Michael Smith has pulled into the battle. That's going to make it a 3-horse race for the lead up front as the 4 Chad Abernathy continues to give chase. We've got problems as cautions on the speedway. Car sitting along the top side of turns 3 and 4.
So real quick, race fans, once again, get your 50-50 tickets out. We have to call that number once more, 230230. Your winning 50-50 ticket number, 230230. So 230230. You can meet JD there behind the flag stand, winning 50-50 ticket number, 230230.
Couple more shout outs on the racingdirt.com Twitter page. Steve Colwell chiming in, giving Trenton Berry and Pat Graham a shout out for the work that they've done here this evening. So Steve, glad to have you with us. Tuned in on racingdirt.com. Tyrone Lingenfelter also tuned in from Winona, Minnesota. Can't wait until the USMTS is in
You're
town.
going to anger the locals there. It's Winona.
Winona. Okay.
Winona. If you ever find yourself up in that area, you got to get that one right. It's Winona. It's not Winona.
I don't want to make anybody mad. That's for sure.
Save you some heartache.
Okay, I appreciate that. Winona, Minnesota. See?
Winona. Yep.
It only
slides right off the tongue.
It only takes once. But I've got it now. I won't forget that again. But again, Tyrone, thanks for tuning in. Brian Dinikus, of course, we talked about him a little bit ago, and great group of people tuning in and chiming in at us on the Racing Dirt Twitter page. And again, great group of fans tuned in, watching the race on racingdirt.com. Again, appreciate everybody sticking it out with us here through the lighting issue, but we've got things back up and running at the moment. Again, Byline Surveying, USRA Factory Stock A-Feature event on the Speedway. Your current leader, 1W, is Walter Hamilton. Nate Dixon running second. Michael Smith third. Chad Abernathy runs in fourth, and Chris Davis rounds out the top 5. Been a fantastic race so far at the front of the field.
Yeah, these factory stocks always put on a show, and those are 3 heavy hitters up front. You talk about Walter Hamilton, 2-time and defending USRA Factory Stock National Champion. Nate Dixon's always in contention as well in the 10 car. So some heavy hitters have already found their way up towards the front of the field here tonight in tonight's Byline Surveying USRA Factory Stock A main.
So, Mr. USRA, for those watching at home or here in the grandstands tonight that might be unfamiliar, what's the biggest difference, or what's the difference in between the USRA stock cars and the USRA factory stocks?
A few differences. Obviously, the most obvious that's visual is the tires. These factory stocks run on asphalt takeoffs, have to be slicks as well, non-grooved asphalt takeoffs, whereas the stock cars are on the American Racer KK704 tire. limited engine, 360 cubic inch restriction here in the factory stock class. They run exhaust manifolds instead of headers as well, a couple other rules like that. Actually, stock GM rear ends as well in these factory stocks, whereas the stock cars have a couple of engine packages where you can run a bigger cubic inch motor with a 2-barrel carburetor, run a 360 cubic inch motor, and then of course they also allow now up to the quick change rear end in the stock car. So that's the cliff notes without me beginning to talk about things that I don't need to talk about. But this factory stock class, for anybody that's north of this area, is kind of more comparable probably to the hobby stock division. We allow aluminum bodies in this factory stock class as kind of a regional rule. But of course the hobby stocks now on racing tires as well. But engine package wise, they're probably a little bit closer to the hobby stocks.
Well, Bryce Hall giving us a great rundown on what the difference between the stock cars and factory stocks.
Hopefully I didn't disappoint Darlow. I'll let Darlow go back and grade that one.
Green flag back in the air. Walter Hamilton going to lead the field back into turns 1 and 2. The 5V and Michael Smith making a bid for the runner-up spot. Nate Dixon continues to run around the top side of the speedway. Problems again over in turns 1 and 2. Looks like one of the 4 cars going around. I believe that might have been the 4A of Ty Abernathy.
Give us time for another shout out here. This is a good one. Pat Fagan's tuned in. The man of fast shafts.
There you go.
He said he's awake and watching and working on being a Twitterite. He's going to add Twitterite to
that could get interesting. Pat Fagan on Twitter.
He's on Twitter. He's got a couple of accounts. I think it's Axel Fagan is the handle. Something similar. Axel Fagan. That sounds right.
It's appropriate.
I'm not even on Twitter, and I know that. That's odd.
You're not on Twitter?
I'm not.
Well,
no, we've discussed this for a while. Happy to have Pat tuned in, though, as we're back green in tonight's Byline Surveying USRA Factory Stock A main. Walter Hamilton to the top side of the racetrack. Out in command of your field. Solid run going for the 5V of Michael Smith as well. Nate Dixon hustling the high side of the racetrack. Chad Abernathy back in the 3rd place spot in the 2H of Marty Hicks. That's the top 5. Oh, Walter off of the banking over in turn number 2. Pulls into the pit area. Tough break there for your leader, the 1W Walter Hamilton. That means Michael Smith is going to inherit the lead in the 5V, so new leader that time by Michael Smith.
Yeah, apparently Hamilton feeling something wrong in the race car. It took a big wiggle at the top of 1 and 2. He drove it off the racetrack, kept us under green flag conditions. Michael Smith continues to run the hub of the speedway. He's got the 10 of Nate Dixon continuing to run around the top side. Dixon now trying to pull up alongside the 5V off of turn number 2. They'll race for the lead down the back straightaway.
Good race for that top spot. Chad Abernathy watching that battle right there in 3rd as well. The 2H of Marty Hicks in 4th. Chris Davis slipping back into the 5th place spot. See if Davis can work his way back forward once again as we're side by side for the lead. Nate Dixon may take it back away from the 5V of Smith.
Dixon's got her wound up around the top side of the speedway. He's going to try to take the lead. Can't get it done that time. Michael Smith still continues to lead. 11 down, 9 to go. Here in your factory stock A feature event. Now Dixon will take over the lead down the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4. Abernathy just a couple of car lengths behind them. Patiently waiting to see how the race for the lead develops as we got issues into turns 3 and 4. That's the 4B of Kyle Blanton.
That is the full wheel, I believe the right rear, that 4 car rolling down the banking.
Well, that's not good. Are there fines for that with USRA like there is with NASCAR? 4-week suspensions?
We try not to put too many fines out there. I'm gonna let that one slide. We'll have to ask Darlow though. That's Darlow's. I'm more of the conduct guy. I get to decide on some conduct stuff. If you go do a hood dance or a helmet toss or any of that, that's more in my line of hey, you're fined or hey, you're not. But
a la Brooks Strength last year.
That's USMTS, not USRA.
Okay, is that's so what you're saying is you don't want any part of that? That's Todd's decision.
Exactly. Yeah. One enough angles of this racing deal, I can figure out how to opt out or duck out of it just about anything. I know my way out. So tough break there for Blanton. We'll get him situated at the top side of turn number 4. How many laps we got in here? 6 laps, 11 laps completed. I might need a refresh here on my race pass.
11 down, 9 to go. Problems prior to that for the 157. That's the car that we lost at the last yellow flag. That's Brad Cruz. You see Cruz making his way off the top side of turn number 1 with the assistance from track officials. So Brad Cruz, Blanton having an issue over there as well, starting to lose some cars here in this Byline Surveying USRA Factory Stock A feature event. Michael Smith continues to pace the field. Nate Dixon was on a charge. Dixon had looked to take over the lead down the back straightaway right before that yellow flag flew. So Dixon going to have to regroup and try to do it again. Chad Abernathy runs right there at the inside of that first double file row. And the Abernathys are a couple of drivers. I got the opportunity to watch race at the Spooker last year at the Tri-State Speedway, and pretty well dominate apparently up at the Tri-State Speedway, running third here tonight. So we'll have to see if Abernathy has anything for your 2 leaders.
Make a mention as well, USMTS Modifieds on deck. They are up next. Limited Modifieds will be the final feature of the night, so anybody that was unaware of the running order, anybody at home that's needing to know that, USMTS Modifieds coming up in 9 laps following this factory stock A main. So that one's coming up quick here. 11 in, 9 to go. Michael Smith with control of the restart.
Looks like the restart being called off by track officials. Apparently some debris on the racetrack.
Sounds like a brake rotor.
Well, that might hurt if it gets kicked up.
I'm going to send Wes on the search here. Telling you, employee of the month. How many times do we point him out? Wes did the job of finding it, and now we got some fire crew coming to try to steal the thunder here.
It might be hot. He might let the fire crew guys have it.
Look at him. I think it was a little bit hot.
A little toasty. They're known to do that. So again, some debris on the front straightaway being picked up right now. It maybe hasn't been picked up just yet. When we're getting tools out of the back of the mule, that might not be good.
So here we go. Once we get them cleared from the front stretch, sounds like caution lights will go down just past halfway through tonight's Byline Surveying USRA Factory Stock A main. Michael Smith from right down the Highway 82, just to the east of here in Paris, Texas. He will lead us to the drop of the green flag.
Are you going to go visit the Eiffel Tower tomorrow? There's an Eiffel Tower in Paris, Texas.
I don't know. I'll have to fit that in with Terry Davis's lunch. If you wondered why I ducked out a few minutes ago, it's because Terry was inviting me to lunch. So we'll see if some sightseeing's on the book as well. Look, caution flags, the wheels just fall off the cars and the bus altogether.
Look at Chad Abernathy, makes a move to take over the runner-up spot on the restart now. Dixon going to duck back to the inside. He's in the middle, 3 wide as the 5V of Michael Smith continues to lead.
Michael Smith working the hub of the racetrack through turns 1 and 2. Here comes Abernathy up to the top shelf, trying to get that 4-car wound up along the cushion. Nate Dixon working the bottom side of the racetrack. 2H of Marty Hicks. He's just been consistently right in that 4th place spot. He's still rolling there just inside of the top 5. Behind him, Tim Claunch has made his way into the top 5 as well. He started a little bit deeper in the pack in 12th, but now he's rolled his way to 5th as they all continue to chase Michael Smith in the 5V.
Michael Smith continues to work the hub of the speedway. Abernathy has it wound up top. He's going to try to keep the momentum built up off of turn number 2, closing in on the backside of Michael Smith down the back straightaway. Half a car length separates your top 2. The 10 of Nate Dixon still right there as well. So we've got a 3-car race for the lead off of turn number 4.
Yeah, this one's beginning to take shape. We got a good one brewing here at Rocket Raceway Park. Just 5 to go, and here comes Abernathy now humming along the top side of the racetrack. He's going to come after Michael Smith for the lead. Dixon back in that third place spot. Hicks is still fourth. Tim Clonch still rounding out your top 5 now with 4 to go.
So Smith continuing to hold the competition at bay along the bottom side of the speedway, nice and smooth. Abernathy's got a good run. They're door-to-door down the back straightaway. Into 3 and 4, Smith back to the bottom. Abernathy up top. They'll come off the turn 4 side by side. White flag, Michael Smith continues to lead.
So final lap of this one, Abernathy's got it rolling along the top side of the racetrack. He may nab the lead, but we're going to have a caution. 51 of Ruben Broussard around in turns 3 and 4.
If there's a car that did not want to see the caution flag fly right there, it was the number 4, Chad Abernathy. He's got some speed along the top of the speedway, but has to get that momentum built up, and now the 5V is going to have a clear shot at the front row by himself.
Yeah, it's taken a lot of time for the 4 of Abernathy to get that momentum rolling around the top side of the racetrack, so he did not, like you said, I don't believe he wanted to see that caution flag come out. So we'll see, though, if he can get a little creative there in the 4 car, or if Nate Dixon gets in the mix as well. But again, Michael Smith will have a row to himself on this restart here on the final couple laps.
So again, looks to be a 3-car race for the lead right now. Smith gonna have a shot at it by himself on the front row. Abernathy and Dixon gonna make up that first double file row. Hicks and Tim Clonch running 4th and 5th. James Moon, Brett Jensen, Ricky Shepard, Dustin Choate, and the 197 of Gary Fincher top 10 right now with just 1 lap to go.
So officials sorting the lineup here with the final lap ready to commence to wrap up the Byline Surveying USRA Factory Stock A main. $500 top prize awaits the winner of this one.
So hearing yellow lights are out, field assembling as they roll down the front straightaway into turns 1 and 2. Getting ready to go green the next time by. Single file restart on tap. Field in the middle part of the field still trying to get sorted out, but again, track officials want to go back to green flag racing. So this time off of turn number 4, we're going to let the green flag fly.
Here we go, bumper to bumper, back to the green flag to wrap up tonight's Byline Surveying USRA Factory Stock A main. Abernathy going to go back to pounding the top shelf of the racetrack. We'll see if he can get the momentum back beneath the 4 cars. We'll have the white flag in the air this time off of turn 4.
Abernathy hard on the brakes, trying to keep the car underneath him as they come off of turn 4 to the white flag. Smith now has a 2-car length lead as they enter 1 and 2. Abernathy hits the top part of the racetrack once again. Dixon right there behind him. They're 1, 2, 3 down the back straightaway.
See if we'll have another last lap snooker on this one, or if Smith can hang on. Checkers to the air, and Michael Smith wins your Factory Stock A main.
Chad Abernathy going to come across the line in 2nd. Nate Dixon 3rd. Marty Hicks 4th. Tim Clonch 5th. James Moon 6th. Brett Jensen 7th. Ricky Shepard 8th. 9th going to be Dustin Choate, and Gary Finch going to round out your top 10 for tonight's Byline Surveying USRA Factory Stock A feature.
Sorry, we got announced it again. They said they can't hear you.
So once again, race fans, 50-50 winning ticket number 230-230. Again, that ticket number 230-230. Go to the base of the flag stand, present that winning 50-50 ticket number, take home some cold, hard cash.
So Pat Graham's down in victory lane to greet Michael Smith, the winner of tonight's Byline Surveying USRA Factory Stock A main.
Well, down here in victory lane, he's getting his helmet off, getting that window net down. He's getting ready to climb out. There we go. He's getting all the way up there. Give it for him, Michael Smith. There we go.
Yeah, baby! Maybe a little bit faster. Thank you.
Congratulations. Talk me through that last few laps and that last couple restarts.
Oh, that last race, that last caution, that number 4, I seen him come on outside, and he pulled me pretty hard. He come out, and I've done nothing but pray. Luckily, they went single file. The top is not the fastest on the first lap, so I was able to hold him off.
There you have it. Tell us who helped you get here. And
First of all, I'd like to thank my wife for letting me do this. Brian Prim with Atomic Race Cars. First race of the car, running perfect. Got Powerly Coating, Hicks Muffler and Tire, JB&L Utility, Raymond Daniels, Paris Alternator and Starter, and I can't help but thank KR for the special fuel.
that special fuel. I assume you're going to be back tomorrow night and you're going to be running here a lot this year.
Oh yes, this is my home track.
There you have it. Give it up for Michael Smith, your feature winner tonight in the factory stock.
There you go. Thank you very much, Pat Graham. Nice job there to Michael Smith, winning tonight's Byline Surveying USRA Factory Stock A Main. Well, that's going to bring us into tonight's Summit Racing Equipment United States Modified Touring Series A Main, presented by Racing Dirt. 5,000 to win 40 times around the Rocket Raceway Park. Let's take you through the lineup here this evening. A Grant Young Hands Rookie of the Year contender will sit on the front row of this one. Out of Madrid, Iowa, the 21K of Kyle Brown, and to his outside from Denison, Texas, the 82, that is Jimmy Williams.
On the inside of row number 2 from Claremore, Oklahoma, in car 91, it's Big Daddy Joe Duvall. And to his outside, the 4-time champion from Watts, Oklahoma, it's Jason Hughes.
Row 3 on the inside from Greenville, Texas, the 4, that's Bo Day. And to his outside, the 12H of Mike Hansen out of Dickinson, North Dakota.
On the inside of row number 4 from Greensville, Texas, the 28B is Wendell Bolden, and to his outside, the defending series champion from Woodward, Oklahoma, the 4Rs, Derek Ramirez.
Back to row number 5, the G17, that's Fito Gallardo out of Las Cruces, New Mexico, lining up to his outside, your 2020 Grant Young Hands Rookie of the Year, the 02 of Tanner Mullins, racing out of Wichita, Kansas.
Rolling off 11th on the inside of row number 6 from Hayesville, Kansas, car 65 is Tyler Davis, and to his outside from Houston, Texas, the number 56, that's Colton Horner.
Row 7 on the inside, 4-time series champion Rodney Sanders at a Happy Texas, car 20 will start 13th, and to his outside we'll find Dustin Sorensen, car 19 out of Rochester, Minnesota.
Rolling off 15th from Springfield, Missouri, the car number 75, it's TP, Terry Phillips. And to his outside from Chatfield, Minnesota, the number 21 is Jacob Bleese.
Next row back, it'll be Rick Beebe, the 22B out of Shawnee, Kansas, alongside Jason Good in the 85 out of Watertown, South Dakota.
Inside of row 10 from Diana, Texas, the 2G is Kenny Gaddis to his outside. Also from Diana, Texas, the 12T, Tyler Townsend.
Back to row 11, we'll find Imperial, California's Lance Maury in the 19SB, alongside Blair, Oklahoma's Cale Westover in the 15W.
On the inside of row number 12 from Odessa, Texas, it's Philip Houston in the 71. To his outside in car 130 is Chase Allen.
Row 13, Cool Hand Lucas Shot, the 69. He will start 25th on the grid with Tyler Wolf to his outside out of Fayetteville, Arkansas, in car 4W.
Row 14 from Lakeshore, Minnesota, the number 60 is Dan Ebert. To his outside from Oskaloosa, Iowa, the 33Z is Caden Carter.
Final 2 starters, 29th and 30th here tonight. Carlos Samata Jr. out of El Paso, Texas, the 65X. And his outside, Brandon Gibbons, the 2G, racing out of Wichita, Kansas.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again, just my children and my wife. Thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend
So race
her
fans will do it for the first
today.
time in 2022 here in the great state of Texas. If you're not on your feet, it is time to get there. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the most beautiful sight in dirt modified racing. Old Glory flies 4 wide at the Rocket Raceway Park.
From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA. There's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
So thank you, great race fans, once again for joining us here at the Rocket Raceway Park, as well as everyone tuned in on Racing Dirt TV and Race on Texas. Always a pleasure to bring the four-wide salute to you. Appreciate you sticking it out here tonight. A little later show than what we are accustomed to on the USMTS Tour, but we will do our best to improve that going into tomorrow evening's program as we shake things down here on the opening night of the USMTS Modified season, as well as the opening night here for the Rocket Raceway Park. And thank you so very much for joining us. Here we go. "40 laps around the Rocket Raceway Park." Kyle Brown out of Madrid, Iowa. That Team Harris Auto Racing 21K is about ready to bring us to the green flag. Alongside Jimmy Williams, great local runner out of Denison, Texas. Got Big Daddy on row number 2, along with Jason Hughes in the 12. Bo Day and Mike Hansen. That's just the front 3 rows as we tighten them up down the back straightaway and get set to kick off the 2022 racing season for the Summit Racing Equipment United States Modified Touring Series presented by Racing Dirt. And we are underway here at Rocket Raceway Park.
Good start for the 21K downtown. Kyle Brown. Now look at Bo Day. Bo Day drives into the second spot. He's working to the inside of Joe Duvall. Downtown, Kyle Brown will lead lap number 1.
So Kyle Brown leads the opening circuit of this one. Joe Duvall's quickly found the cushion in the 91. Jason Hughes back in the 3rd place spot. Bo Day and Derek Ramirez. That's going to be the early top 5 of this one. Bo Day working down to the inside of the 12 of Hughes. That's for the 3rd place spot down into turns 1 and 2. So we got trouble. The apron of the racetrack looks like the 12T of Tyler Townsend. Going to go around to the bottom side of turn number 2 and bring us under an early caution here with 2 laps completed.
Whatever Bo Day found early on lap number 1, he was shot out like a cannon at the entry point of turn number 3, looked to take over that 2nd spot. Both Jason Hughes and Joe Duvall working their way back by. Of course, Jason Hughes is a guy we mentioned earlier tonight, has found a lot of speed as late in 2021, trying to carry that momentum into 2022. Duvall looking good around the top side of the speedway as well. So we'll have to keep an eye on those two as Kyle Brown initially working the bottom side of the speedway. Lap 2, though, when he went into turns 1 and 2, car got tight on him. So we'll have to see if maybe that was just a mistake on the entry of that corner, or if Kyle Brown, his race car, maybe not to his liking so far.
Yeah, we'll see if he can take a different step down into turns 1 and 2, or if he's just going to have to manhandle that thing until it straightens itself out. We'll see how that goes. A few different drivers with some bent-up sheet metal here. Philip Houston's pulled down into the inspection line, along with Carlos Amata Jr. in the 65X. So taking a look at those cars, Joe Duvall is headed pit side in the 91.
No, that's not good for the 91 of Joe Duvall. He looked really, really good on that opening set of laps, and unfortunately, pit side early for car 91. Tough break for Joe Duvall. Going to have to wait another night to try to pick up that first USMTS victory.
Yeah, certainly hate to see that for Big Daddy as he's pulled pit side. Still taking a look at Carlos Amata Jr.'s 65X here on the front straightaway, getting everybody else single file and lined out here for the restart of this one. Just 2 laps completed, a 40. Still a long way to go here tonight in Petty for the opening night, the 12th annual Texas Spring Nationals. $5,000 top prize tonight, Summit Racing Equipment USMTS A main.
Tough start to the A feature event for that 82 of Jimmy Williams, already sitting back, I believe in the 6th spot right now, so he had a tough go of it on the opening 2 circuits. Been up right rear quarter panel on that machine as well. King Kyle Brown, your early leader. The 12 of Jason Hughes sits in the 2nd spot. Bode 3rd. Derek Ramirez 4th, and Tanner Mullins in the 02 rounds out your top 5.
Like you mentioned, Jimmy Williams has faded back into that 6th place spot here early on. 7th is Mike Hansen. 8th is Tyler Davis. 9th is Fito Gallardo. And 10th, Dustin Sorensen. Again, a very early top 10 here. Wendell Bolden just outside those top 10 and 11th. 12th is Terry Phillips. 13th is Colton Horner. 14th is Rodney Sanders. And 15th, Jacob Bleese. So that's the front half of the field in this 30-car feature here this evening. Caution lights going down. We'll get set for the restart of this one. Jason Hughes elects the outside on this restart. He had the choice of line in 2nd. Likewise, even position cars had their choice as well. We realign the field with 2 laps in and 38 to go here on night number 1.
Gonna have to keep an eye on the 12 of Jason Hughes on the top side of that first double file row. Still a lot of moisture to be had at the top side of the racetrack. We'll see what he can do with it. Green flag is in the air. Kyle Brown brings us back to the green.
So back underway with 2 laps completed. Jason Hughes wrestling the cushion of the racetrack in that 2nd place spot on this restart. Derek Ramirez comes to life. He'll grab the spot away from Bode. So put Ramirez now into 3rd as we complete lap 3.
Kyle Brown, your early leader, but he's under attack. Jason Hughes rails the top side of the speedway and takes the lead away. Down the back straightaway, Hughes in 12 out in front of this one. Derek Ramirez now coming after the 21K of Kyle Brown. He's under attack down the front straightaway.
Boy, Jason Hughes set on kill here early on. Hughes to the top spot. Derek Ramirez is coming with him. Down to the inside goes the 4R. Ramirez side by side for 2nd as we got Chase Allen and Dan Ebert tangled up on the front straightaway. So under the caution on the front straightaway for Chase Allen and Dan Ebert. Pat Graham making his way toward the scene of the incident there. Chase Allen and Dan Ebert seem to have found each other here on the front straightaway.
It's going to take a wrecker to get Ebert picked up off the left rear. I'm not sure how much more damage. I'll try to make an assessment here. But yeah, they're going to have to get him picked up and see if either one's able to continue if they got a flat. It looks like Chase Allen's left rear is up. I can't see the right front. You guys probably have a better look at that from up there. But
the right front down on the 1A as well.
Now the right front's still up on Ebert's car as well, so we'll see once they get Chase Allen's right front is down. He's going to have to get in the work area and get that changed, but drivers still have helmets on and they're going to try to continue on. Back up to you guys.
Well, thank you very much, Pat, on the scene there on the front straightaway as we look to get the 130 of Allen separated from the 60 of Dan Ebert. How about that restart from the 12 of Jason Hughes in that next couple of laps where he was able to lunge out in front in that West Siloam Pond Cates Recycling number 12.
Well, not to say I told you so, but I told you so.
You did. You did. He was looking good there at the end of 2021, you know, had a podium finish there at the 81 Speedway. And, man, he's found something. Like he said, I think we found something. And it certainly looks like it here this evening. You know, he's, like I said, in the midst of a huge drought, hasn't won since Labor Day weekend of 2017. But this looks like the Jason Hughes of old, back to the, you know, the mid 2000s, as he is launched out to a pretty impressive lead here early on. And Derek Ramirez's car looks just about as good, though. You know, he was going after Kyle Brown. Brown is fending him off for 2nd, but I would say Ramirez will have an impact on this one as well.
Yeah, Ramirez is the guy now in the spot that Hughes was, starting on the outside of that first double file row. And you know, not to take anything away from the 21K Kyle Brown, he's looked good here early, but he's going to have his hands full with that 4R.
So as we get Chase Allen off of the racetrack, he'll go try to change that right front. We'll see if he has any more damage or if he's able to rejoin the field in the 130. Track officials just about done with Dan Ebert here on the front straightaway. Pat, let's talk about this upcoming restart as well. We saw Jason Hughes use the outside line to his advantage to take over the top spot from Kyle Brown. Ramirez's car looks close to as good as that 12 car as well. What's he going to be able to do from the outside of row 2?
I think you're right. And, you know, like we talked about after they bladed that cushion off, there's still a lot of moisture up there, and Jason was able to find that, and Derek has kind of followed him through. The only thing is now Kyle Brown's been able to watch for a lap or two, see if he tries to get back to that high side as well. But you're right, Derek was coming as well, and this track is really racy right now.
So we will see what the restart lends here with 4 laps completed of 40. A lot can happen in 36 laps. A lot's happened here in 4 laps, so these next 36 will certainly be one to watch as they continue to tend to the 60 of Danny Ebert along the front straightaway.
Yeah, very early in this one, a lot can still happen. You know, to Pat's point, Kyle Brown has been able to see what Jason Hughes has done up top. He felt the pressure from the 4R of Derek Ramirez just before the yellow flag flew, but he's going to have one special restart to try to wrestle away the top line from the 4R of Ramirez.
Yeah, looking outside of those top 3, Baudet still holding up strong in the 4th place spot. Like we mentioned, he was 2 for 2 here in USRA modified action last season. So Bo very well in the picture this one. And Mike Hansen as well. He's got a top 5 run going here early on. Of course, Hansen, great runner out of Dickinson, North Dakota. Tanner Mullins just outside of those top 5 and 6. Fito Gallardo is 7th. Tyler Davis is 8th. Dustin Sorensen is 9th. Jimmy Williams continues to backslide in this one. He's back into the 10th place spot now. Colton Horner's moved up a few spots in those next couple laps. He's into 11th. Jacob Blease 12th. Rodney Sanders, Cale Westover, Jason Good making up the top 15 with just 4 laps completed of 40. Here for night number 1 of the 12th annual Texas Spring Nationals. Lifting the lid on the 2022 racing season for the Summit Racing Equipment United States Modified Touring Series presented by Racing Dirt. As we've talked about a couple times, $100,000 to win the points this season, courtesy of S&S Fishing and Rental in memory of Leon Ramirez. So a major carrot dangling out in front of these drivers come season's end. $10,000 to win the Grant Young Hands Rookie of the Year as well, as the stakes just continue to raise here for the USMTS Modifieds. So there we go. Lights are out. 4 laps completed of 40. Ready to get back to it with Jason Hughes, your leader in car 12. Working back through turns 3 and 4, Jason Hughes refires. We are back underway. 4 laps completed of 40. Derek Ramirez going to dive deep into turns 1 and 2, trying to clear by Jason Hughes for the lead. Side by side for a moment down the back straightaway. Still side by side for lead, working off of turn number 4. Who's going to lead this time by? It's going to be a dead heat at the line. Ramirez by 3/1000ths of a second.
Jason Hughes now has the momentum wound up around the top side of the speedway. He'll take the lead back through turns 3 and 4. Kyle Brown right now managing to hold on to that runner-up spot. And then it's a gaggle of cars working their way off of turn number 4.
So Jason Hughes having to deal with the 4R of Derek Ramirez. A race for the lead in this one. Kyle Brown a solid 3rd. Ton of smoke out of the 12H of Mike Hansen. We'll keep an eye on him. Gallardo's worked his way into the top 5 as well. Fito's got it rolling now. The G17 into 5th by Baudet.
Dustin Sorensen working right through the middle part of the racetrack. He's going to go 3 for 1 there. He'll work by Baudet. He pulls up to the inside of the smoking Mike Hansen machine. We'll have to keep an eye on that as that situation unfolds. Meanwhile, Jason Hughes still leading the 4R of Derek Ramirez.
Oh, look at Sorensen back through the middle of the outside of Kyle Brown, but we are going to have a caution.
Caution on the speedway. Looks like maybe the 69 of Lucas Shaw having some kind of an issue.
Going to look at Mike Hansen's 12H cars. We've seen a ton of smoke out of the 12H of Hansen now for several laps.
Kyle Brown doing a good job to hold on to the third spot thus far, but man, Dustin Sorensen in car 19 looks really, really good here early in this one. He's already moved up multiple positions after you saw him in B feature action this evening. So Dustin Sorensen going to be one to keep an eye on. Started 14th, currently 6th on the board, just 8 laps into this one.
So, Pat, we've been talking about the action there at the front, the 12 of Jason Hughes, the 4R of Derek Ramirez, but we look at a hard charger right now. Dustin Sorensen rolling from deep in the field now into 4th.
Yeah, and he looked really strong in that B feature, so I'm not surprised to see him moving up. And Tanner Mullins, those two they looked really strong just a lap or two before that caution. But like you said, Jason Hughes has looked really strong up front too. I think we're in for a real treat amongst these top 5, 6, 7 cars. But yeah, you're right. Dustin Sorensen's looked really strong all night, and that moisture and stuff is kind of playing right into his hand of up on the wheel driving like he's known for.
Yeah, Sorensen working into the 6th position. So 6th position for Sorensen. We'll see though what happens here. Looks like Mike Hansen's going to go off on the hook. So tough break for Hansen in the 12. We'll see what happens here with the 21K of Kyle Brown.
So hearing over USMTS official radio communications, possibly pieces of a drive shaft laying out on the racetrack. So guys searching for that as well. Want to make sure we get all that debris picked up off the racetrack. Don't want to cut a tire, damage a race car, or more importantly, get a piece of debris kicked up and possibly hit a driver inside one of these machines.
So Kyle Brown requiring some assistance now from the push truck. We'll see if that is just to help him get going or if that is terminal on the 21K. Not sure if maybe that's the piece of drive shaft we're looking for. What's going on there with the 21K?
If it is terminal, a tough way to end the night for Kyle Brown after looking good early. Holding on to a podium spot for the opening 8 laps of this A feature event. And that car not pulling away from the front of the push truck. Looks like he's going to exit stage right off the top side of turn number 1, so tough luck for the 21K of Kyle Brown.
Yeah, certainly hate to see that again. A candidate for the Grant Young Hands Rookie of the Year this season. He'll go off with the assistance of the push truck. Mike Hansen dropping out of this one as well, so a couple drivers that were in the top 5 have dropped out of the lineup. So Sorensen is now in that 4th position. As Tanner Mullins now rounds out the top 5. 8 laps now completed, still not even a quarter of the way through this one. So we'll look to turn him back loose at the control of Jason Hughes. Your leader out in front, car 12, ready to refire this time in turns 3 and 4. So back to the green we go. Jason Hughes, pretty solid restart for car 12. Ramirez will slice through the middle. Bo Day along the bottom, and now here comes Sorensen on the top side of the racetrack. Those top 4 taking off on this restart. Off at turn number 4, Jason Hughes back to the lead here as we complete lap number 10.
Jason Hughes continues to work the top side of the speedway. Sorensen got tight. Now that's going to open the door for Tanner Mullins to his inside. Just outside the top 5, Tyler Davis has pulled up to the backside of Fido Gallardo. So he's trying to climb closer to the top 5 as well from his 11th place starting spot. Meanwhile, Bo Day on the attack, trying to race to the inside of Derek Ramirez. We got a 4-car battle into 3 and 4.
Yeah, Bo Day holding his own right now. That 3rd place spot. Mullins on his back bumper, though, down the front straightaway. Sorensen to the outside. 3 wide there for a moment. Now they'll go 3 wide with 2nd. Look at Sorensen just up to the outside of Bo Day. Those two remain side by side down through turns 3 and 4. That racing 3rd through 5th. Fantastic as here comes Mullins along the bottom.
Mullins and Bo Day continue to battle side by side into turns 1 and 2. Now Mullins will slide just up in front of the number 4. Derek Ramirez continues to hold the second spot. Sorensen, though, has been the man on the move early in this one. He's all over the backside of the 4R as the 12 and Jason Hughes continues to pull away.
Yeah, Jason Hughes looking good out in front of this one. The G17 of Fido Gallardo, look out. We got Ramirez going around, and that's going to put Baudet hard into the wall down the back straightaway. Boy, Baudet was just collected when one of the tires came screaming off of the 4R. You can see it rolling down to the infield, and Baudet just got turned as they collided down the backstretch, and hard into the wall goes the 4.
At contact between, I believe it was Sorensen and Ramirez, sent Ramirez spinning. Cars all trying to take evasive action, getting together, doing so, and that's what put the 4 of Baudet into the fence, bringing us to a red flag situation. Track officials on the back straightaway coming to the attention of the 4R of Baudet. Pat Graham making his way back to the scene of the accident as well. Pat, any update back there on the back straightaway at the moment?
We're just kind of waiting. Everybody's just kind of checking on the driver and that, letting him get his bearing here. Still safety crews are there, so we'll give me a second here and I'll check on the situation. We got the helmet off the driver. I'll let you know as soon as he's out of the car.
So getting waiting word on the condition of the driver of the number 4, Baudet, on the back straightaway there. Pat Graham on scene. Getting close racing through turns 1 and 2. Sorensen and Ramirez got together. That sent this 4R of Ramirez spinning off of the front side of the 19. Cars having to take evasive action and leading to the situation on the back straightaway.
So just getting word, Baudet reporting a little bit of back pain there on the exit of turn number 2, and understandably so. I mean, a hard hit there in the wall, but that's why he said he's going to take his time getting out of the race car and be tended to some of the officials to help get out safely as well to prevent, you know, any sort of potential injury. But getting word he's okay, just a little bit sore there in his back after hard contact with the back straightaway wall.
Just want to cut in over there. Sorry, Eric and Bryce, but the driver is out of the car. A little shaken up. We're not going to try to get an interview or anything, but the safety crews are with him, and he is out of the car safe, and they're going to be hooking up to the rear of the car. He will be done for the night as far as some damage in that, but the driver is out of the vehicle and going to be getting checked out. So back up to you guys.
Thank you for the update, Pat. Certainly a tough situation over there off the top side of turn number 2 on the back straightaway there. And again, a little bit of back soreness for the 4D of Baudet. That's the reason for the driver taking his time to get out of the race car. Pat, what did you see when that all started, and how did the 4R end up, or 4D, excuse me, end up in the wall?
Well, I missed part of it, but I did see, you know, the 4R Derek Ramirez get, I don't know what happened exactly, but I do see that the left rear tire was down on the 4R. I don't know if that happened or that caused, you know, that was from some contact. I don't know that. But I think once that started, same thing as some of the earlier accidents, it kind of was an accordion effect that some of these guys didn't have anywhere to go, and, you know, we hadn't made that many laps since the restart. So just a whole lot of tough 3-wide racing that's been going on here off of 2, and just, you know, just everybody Baudet ran out of real estate there, and he's walking back to the pits now. So I think something started with Derek Ramirez, but I didn't catch the beginning of it.
Thanks again, Pat. Yeah, good to see Baudet walking back to the pitch. You can see him over there with a group of his crew members. The top side of turn number 2. Again, really hate to see that for the 4 of Baudet, but good to see him walking under his own power there after a hard impact with the back straightaway wall.
Definitely going to shake up the top 5 as 2 Both Bode and Derek Ramirez were running inside the top 5 at the time of the accident. That's Jason Hughes has led from the onset of this one. That's going to put Dustin Sorensen in the 2nd spot. Tanner Mullins will run in 3rd. Fido Gallardo 4th, and Tyler Davis from 11th, now inside the top 5. So he's been strong here early in this one. We'll have to keep an eye on the Gerber Collision and Glassman Automotive, number 65.
Yeah, solid run going there for the 65. Of course, just outside those top 5 runners, you've got Terry Phillips now closing in on the top 5, as well as the 20 of Rodney Sanders. And this kind of in similar fashion of those B mains, we see guys that are mid-pack just play the survival game and make their way up towards the front. Still got several laps in this one remaining. 14 laps completed of 40, so not even halfway through tonight's Summit Racing Equipment A main. You know, Fido Gallardo was somebody that stuck out too ahead of the caution there. He had rolled up into the top 5. He was pretty fast. You know, Fido goes on the rough stuff pretty good. I've seen him get up and go when you got to get the wheel up, and see if he can make a run up towards those front runners in this one, as well as he's already closed up into the top 5.
Again, Jason Hughes showing a ton of speed at the front of the field. It started to stretch the lead just a little bit, but something interesting I've noticed, every time that car goes into turn number 1, it really gets over on the right front frame rail. You see mud start digging up out of the racetrack as the car is in the racetrack really, really hard. That can create quite a handful behind the wheel of these modifieds. Believe me, when the right front digs in, those drivers feel it, and Jason Hughes going to have to wrestle that car to a victory here tonight. Showing a lot of speed, but still a lot of work left yet to do for the number 12.
Taking a look at Cale Westover's 15W here along the front straightaway as well. Requiring a little bit of a push start here from Wes on the four-wheeler. So Wes back in action once again here at the Rocket Raceway Park. He'll get 15W of Westover fired up. If only he'd have given it that much gas on that four-wheeler when he was pushing Sestair off the end of turns 1 and 2, we'd have had a show.
Yeah. Sestair might have went for a ride on that one. That might have been a sketchy situation.
So Jason Hughes out on top of this one. Get Dustin Sorensen back up to the outside of row number 2. I believe he had elected to go out on the restart, trying to make his way back up there to the outside of the 0-2 of Tanner Mullins. Tyler Davis and Fido Gallardo are rounding out the top 5. Now the 56 Colton Horner stopped on the front straightaway, taking a look at Horner's 56 as well. 14 laps in of 40 here on night number 1 of the 12th annual Texas Spring Nationals, the first of 43 scheduled races for the Summit Racing Equipment United States Modified Touring Series presented by Racing Dirt. Night number 2 back here tomorrow. Hour earlier start time, 5:45, the scheduled qualifying time to kick off night number 2. A few weeks off for the USMTS Modifieds, and it's back at it Humboldt Speedway March 24th through the 26th for King of America 11.
Another car to keep an eye on so far, plus 16 right now. Tyler Wolf running 10th, started 26th on the field tonight, so we'll have to keep an eye on him.
Here we go, back to the green flag, 14 in, 26 to go. Jason Hughes back to that treacherous cushion through turns 1 and 2. Sorensen right through the middle. He kept that car pretty straight that time through turns 1 and 2. Tanner Mullins going to attack the inside. Now Tyler Davis right through the middle into the top 3. Boy, Tyler Davis is putting together a great run to the outside of Mullins. Those two going to wheel side by side for a moment, not for long. Davis now into 3rd, and here comes Rodney Sanders as well, now to the 5th place spot in car 20.
Rodney Sanders drives to the top side of turn number 4, inside the top 5 now. The 0-2, the man in the crosshairs for car number 20 down the back straightaway to 3 and 4. Mullins continuing to work the bottom side of the speedway. Tyler Davis about a lane off the top. He'll drift up to the outside wall, chasing after the 19 of Sorensen. Meanwhile, Jason Hughes continues to stretch the lead. Now has roughly a straightaway on the field. His 2nd through 5th starts to tighten up.
Yeah, Dustin Sorensen really got tight on the top side of turn number 2 that last time around. Had to keep that thing out of the concrete and scrub some speed coming off of turn number 2. So he'll lose lose wholesale track position to the 12 of Jason Hughes. This time by 20 in and 20 to go. Jason Hughes, your leader. Dustin Sorensen in second. Tyler Davis in third. Rodney Sanders now by Tanner Mullins into the fourth place spot as Tyler Wolf and Terry Phillips race hard for sixth, working around to lap number 21.
Wolf has made his way by Terry Phillips for that sixth position, coming after Tanner Mullins now. Mullins pulls away off the bottom side of turn number 4. Dustin Sorensen continuing to have problems on the cushion in 1 and 2. Sanders did as well. Tyler Davis trying to reel the 19 in. Meanwhile, Hughes leads big off of turn 4.
Yeah, Jason Hughes continues to lead by 2.290 seconds. Jason Hughes just over a 2-second lead in car 12. Sorensen back in that second place spot. Tyler Davis solidly in third. Rodney Sanders in fourth. And Tyler Wolf now sees a challenge back up to the outside from the 0-2 of Mullins. Mullins into the wall there for a moment down the front straightaway. Wolf going to throw a haymaker slider. He won't quite clear by the 0-2 of Mullins. Leaves him the lane, and Tanner races back up into fifth.
Wolf once again going to challenge to the inside through 3 and 4. Car tightens up, drives up the track. Mullins goes back around the outside. You know, an interesting characteristic of this racetrack right now, getting very rough over in turns 1 and 2. If guys don't hit it right, it really upsets the race car. But if you hit the top of 1 and 2 right, you get a good drive and a lot of speed and momentum off the top side of turn 2.
Jason Hughes going to have to deal with the back of the pack now here with 15 to go. However, a couple cars have dropped out now as Jason has worked his way by. Philip Houston, past winner here at Petty, Texas, getting ready to go a lap down to the 12 of Jason Hughes. Hughes will race by the 71 this time down the back straightaway. Right now, lapped cars pretty spread out as Jason Hughes works toward the back of the pack. Second continues to be Sorensen as Tyler Davis now has his hands full of Rodney Sanders working off of turn number 4.
Yeah, Dustin Sorensen closing in on Hughes. Just as I say that again, trips up on the cushion in turns 1 and 2. Sanders hits the hole wrong. Tyler Davis going to streak back by for the third spot. Sanders will come back after him in 3 and 4. Mullins runs in fifth. It's Tyler Wolf 6th, Terry Phillips 7th, 8th is the 15W of Cale Westover.
Things going to tighten up now through the lap traffic. They've worked by Gaddis. Now they will have to deal with the 33Z of Caden Carter. So Jason Hughes trying to put Carter a lap down now through turns 1 and 2. Pushes up the banking, and here comes the 19 of Sorensen now. Hughes bobbled through turn number 2. It opens the door for the 19 of Sorensen. Now side by side through the lap traffic. 10 laps to go.
10 to go. Jason Hughes continues to lead, but Sorensen is right there. Hughes gets a good run through 1 and 2 off the top side of the speedway. He's back to the top of the racetrack after having to move off the top to get through lap traffic just a couple of laps ago. Hughes has a 2-car length lead over the 19 of Sorensen. Those two are through 1 and 2. Rodney Sanders has made his way by the 65 of Tyler Davis. Now the Tanner Mullins machine on the attack right behind the 65.
Dustin Sorensen is poised on attack as Jason Hughes absolutely has his hands full through turns 1 and 2. It's a rodeo right now for the 12 of Jason Hughes. This time he will drop below the ruts, that time through turns 1 and 2. He's able to keep Sorensen at bay, but definitely changed his line as he was having trouble maneuvering a rough turns 1 and 2. This time by 7 laps to go. Jason Hughes upsets the car once again. Sorensen may strike off at turn number 2. Hughes back on the throttle down the back straightaway, side by side for the lead through turns 3 and 4.
Sorensen trying to slide up in front of Hughes. Hughes says nothing of it. He's going to drive right back around the outside. Now tries the top of 1 and 2 again. It is very treacherous around the top side of 1 and 2, but if you hit it right, you get a good run off the top of 2. That's where Hughes right now is winning this race. Back up to the cushion off the top side of turn 4. He'll continue to lead with 5 laps to go.
A 5-lap shootout to decide it. This time around, Hughes a little bit smoother through the top side of turns 1 and 2. Hit the holes just right in car 12. Now he'll drop down to the inside of turns 3 and 4. Sorensen going to follow him to the bottom now on exit turn number 4 as Jason Hughes tries to work by lapped car Rick Beebe. He's going to slide past Beebe coming off of turn number 2. He'll scrub a ton of speed, and Sorensen drives back by the 12 of Jason Hughes. Sorensen trying to officially take the lead this time around. Hughes back down to his inside, but you've got a new leader with 3 to go.
3 laps to go. Jason Hughes trying to find his way back by the 19 of Sorensen. Sorensen, though, he's the one with the preferred line off of 2. He'll pull out by about 3 car lengths into 3 and 4. Jason Hughes desperately giving chase. You know he wants to go back to victory lane.
2 laps to go through the lap traffic. Sorensen will go 3 wide for a moment with the lap cars. He works by Carlos Amata Jr. in the 65X. Lap cars now 2 wide in front of him. Police along the inside. Jason Good up top. White flag is in the air and 1 to go. Dustin Sorensen able to stretch the lead out a bit there, coming to the white flag. He'll scrub some speed on the top side of turn number 2. Jason Hughes has one last run down the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Dustin Sorensen draws first blood in 2022 and wins at Rocket Raceway Park.
Dustin Sorensen crosses the checkered flag first. Jason Hughes in the runner-up spot. Rodney Sanders up to 3rd. Tanner Mullins 4th. Tyler Davis rounds out your top 5. 6th is Terry Phillips. 7th is Tyler Wolf. Kel Westover 8th. Fido Gallardo 9th. And Jason Good rounds out your top 10. Jacob Blease finishes 11th. Carlos Amata Jr. 12th. Rick Beebe 13th. Brandon Givens 14th. Colton Horner 15th. Caden Carter 16th. Philip Houston 17th. Kenny Guinness 18th. Lance Maury 19th. Tyler Townsend rounds out your top 20. 21st to Jimmy Williams. 22nd to Ramirez. 23rd will be credited for Bo Day. 24th to Kyle Brown. 25th Mike Hansen. 26th Lucas Schott. 27th, Wendell Bolden. 28th, Chase Allen. 29th, Dan Ebert. And 30th, Joe Duvall.
So don't forget, race fans, as you are headed for the exits here, we will have USMTS Victory Lane. One more feature as well, the USRA Limited Mods, still to come here this evening, so be sure to stick around for that, as Pat Graham will get set to greet Dustin Sorensen down in USMTS Victory Lane. His 7th career USMTS victory comes here on night number 1 at Rocket Raceway Park.
All right, it took a little while to get us to this point tonight, but Dustin's catching his breath a little bit, getting that Hans device off, got that helmet off, straightening the hair. Here he comes, folks. Dustin Sorensen. He's going to be a little tired after that one, getting up on top of the car. There you have it. Give him a hand. Heck of a run, Dustin. Walk us through those last couple laps and the lap cars, and how'd you make it happen?
I don't know. I mean, I knew we had to be getting close to the end there, but we ain't got a scoreboard here, so I was going to take any chance I got, and he kept messing up high down there, so I kept trying to get beneath him, and finally got below him one time and slid him down here, and just held on after that.
You look pretty good in that B feature, working your way up through there. The start of the feature, did you think, I got a shot at this, or did this just kind of start coming to you as the race went on? Yeah,
my car felt really good there in the B main, and it helped that I won the B main. I didn't have to start too far back, but I got to give a shout out to all my guys there. They're all my dad's old crew guys, so they're probably one of the older groups out here, but they were working their asses off getting this car back together for the feature, so that's awesome. And I got to thank all my sponsors too, GunShepherd.com, Ford Metro Glass, Chevrolet, Rochester Chevrolet, Paulson Rock Products, Ford Metro Glass, 63 Club, CJ's Auto Sales, Heavy Hitch, iBox Springs, Schaefer's Oil. I think I got most of them, but yeah, that was fun.
You know what? Last year ended pretty well for you, really strong at the end of the year. What's it mean to start out the year at the USMTS feature win to kick off 2022?
Well, earlier tonight when I hit that tire down there and then tore my car up in a B main, I wasn't thinking it was going to go so good, but it's awesome to get this win. Kind of didn't race all winter long, so come back out here and do it. I guess I didn't forget nothing.
There you have it. Give it up for him. Dustin Sorensen, your feature winner tonight in the USMTS race.
Thank you very much, Pat Graham. Congratulations to Dustin Sorensen. Of course, first win of the season, 7th of his career for the Rochester, Minnesota young gun. Like he mentioned there, coming up from the B main, it was a wild night for Dustin Sorensen. A Uke tire there in the heat race bit him early on in the night, worked his way up through the B main, started 14th and into USMTS Victory Lane. And that's something you rarely see. These racers will say, got to make that redraw. Very seldom do you see somebody win outside of the redraw. Well, further than that, it is very rare to see somebody come out of the B main and then pick up a win. Been a while since that's happened as well. So good to see that for Dustin Sorensen here tonight as he celebrates in USMTS Victory Lane.
Well, not to take the wind out of your sails, but the last guy to win out of a B feature, The last race of 2021, Jake O'Neill did it at 81 Speedway out of a B feature. But you are right. Overall, very rare to see that, especially for a guy like Sorensen. When you think about it, I mean, quite frankly, he's leaving the racetrack after what turned into be a Cowboy Up A feature over there in turns 1 and 2. Probably the least amount of damage he's had all night on that race car as well. Just a rough and tough night for the 19, but somehow he was able to overcome it every time he hit the racetrack and ends up in victory lane.
Yeah, and another note here, man, heartbreaker there for Jason Hughes, obviously. Led the majority of that one and comes up just short again. We've seen that a couple times for the 12 there late last season, but certainly a lot more hope for the 12 going into 2022 after that solid second place run here tonight. So with that, we will get set up for tonight's Costin & Son Ready Mix USRA Limited Mod A main. A pair of Sooner State racers will set on the front row of this one. Cody King out of Fanshawe, Oklahoma, the 5'10". He will set the pace alongside Dalton Ragsdale, the 22, out of Muskogee, Oklahoma.
Row 2 on the inside from Greensville, Texas, the number 20D, that is Rowdy Day to his outside from Dallas. It's Justin Vaughn in the 2JT.
Row 3 on the inside, Gregory Muirhead racing out of Maybank, Texas. Car 22M will start 5th alongside Carson Bradley in the C88. He's out of Hallsville, Texas.
7th from Savage, Minnesota, the red 1, that's Dan Wheeler into his outside. From Ivanhoe, Texas, the 26J, that's Shannon Hartline.
Back to row number 5, the 218 of Cody Blanton. He's out of Lone Oak, Texas. He will start 9th on the grid with Donald Fetty to his outside. Fetty out of Greenville, Texas in car 34.
In row number 6 on the inside from Fredericksburg, Texas, the 1B, that's Braden Beard to his outside. From Springdale, Arkansas, the 53H is Ty Hollingsworth.
Row 7, Tim Clonch on the inside from Quinlan, Texas, the 21P. Jimmy Day to his outside, the 23M out of Greenville, Texas.
15th will be the Denison, Texas racer in car 47, Aubrey Spears to his outside from Forest City, Texas. The 01 is Teff Forrester.
Row number 9, Court Morgan, the 0 out of Muskogee, Oklahoma, alongside Bubby Morgan, the 9, also out of Muskogee.
19th and from Davis, Oklahoma, the 22K is Chad King to his outside. From McKinley, Oklahoma, the 109 is Trent Gibby.
Row number 11, Michael McCall out of Denison, Texas, a 27 car alongside Cody McDowell in the G2G racing out of Walters, Oklahoma.
Final row on the inside from Farmersville, Texas, the 21R is Matt Rust to his outside. From Alma, Arkansas, the 13 is Lonnie Robbins Jr. Green flag set to wave, this time off of turn number 4.
Here we go. Out comes the green flag on tonight's limited modified A main. A pair of Sooner State racers take us to the green in this one. It'll be Muskogee, Oklahoma's Dalton Ragsdale that jumps out the lead, but we've got trouble down in turn number 2.
So caution immediately back out for the 23. We'll restack it and do it once again. A lap not complete. I believe that was actually the 123 of Brett Jensen, a small number 1. Looked like 23 from up here. Again, Brett Jensen having issues there at the exit of turn number 2. We'll restack them, re-rack them, and do it once again. Here for your Byline Surveying USRA Limited Mod A feature.
So here we go, take number 2. King and Ragsdale still on row number 1, ready to refire in this one. Beating and banging coming to the green. That was a bit of a slinky effect. It may sort itself out, though. We may keep them straight, and we will. Out comes the green flag. Dalton Ragsdale going to lead off of turn 2 and down the back straightaway. Cody King down to his inside. Those two going to race door to door here on lap number 1. Look out, 34. We got a spinner down in turns 3 and 4.
So that car making its way to the infield will stay green. Ragsdale has the lead. The 20D is challenging Cody King for the second spot. He'll take that over down the front straightaway to turns 1 and 2. So put Rowdy Day up in the second, Cody King back to third.
And we got trouble. Caution out for the 88 stop at the top side of turn 2. Looks to be the C88 of Carson Bradley. So Carson Bradley's C88 comes to a halt at the top side of turn number 2. Now he will turn that thing around and looks like head for the pits or work area in the C88.
Track officials trying to get the field lined back up into proper position. Again, the 22 of Dalton Ragsdale, excuse me, at the front of the field. The 20D of Rowdy Day is in second. Cody King runs in third. That's your top three. Dan Wheeler there in that fourth spot. So a good run once again as Wheeler started in seventh. He's gained 3 spots here early in the going in this one.
So trying to get everybody lined up throughout the field of this one in their proper positions before we get set for the restart. Final feature of the night, the Costin and Son Ready Mix USRA Limited Mods. They'll be back in action tomorrow night. $600 to win on night number 2 for the Limited Mods. They'll return along with the stock cars and factory stocks. And of course, the USMTS Modifieds here for night number 2 of the 12th annual Texas Spring Nationals. Caution lights have gone down around the Rocket Raceway Park. Dalton Ragsdale ready to bring us back up to speed this time around to turn 4.
So green lights blink on. Ragsdale leads the field down the front straightaway. Everybody will rifle into turns 1 and 2. Ragsdale on the bottom. Cody King bouncing through the ruts at the top side of the speedway. He'll take back over the runner-up spot away from the 20D of Rowdy Day. That's the way they come off of turn number 4. Ragsdale leads, but now Cody King putting the pressure on.
Yeah, Cody King going after your leader in this one. Shannon Hartline, he was fast in his heat race earlier tonight. He now challenges the outside of Rowdy Day for the 3rd position, so keep an eye on Hartline. They're side by side. They're behind the 510 of King. They'll tighten up now 2nd through 4th. Day through the middle down to the inside of the 510 of Cody King. King able to shake him off for time being down the back straightaway as they all chase the 22 of Ragsdale.
Nose to tail, 1, 2, 3, 4 off of turn number 4. Now Day gonna look to the inside of King as King goes back to the top side of 1 and 2. Upsets the race car, but again, the top side of 1 and 2, if you can hit it, it's got some speed up there. Cody King managing to hold Day at bay so far.
So Cody King hanging on to that 2nd place spot over Rowdy Day. Day back to the top side through the middle of the ruts that time through turns 1 and 2. King was 1 line higher. Now Day will roll to the bottom side of the racetrack. He'll follow on the wheel tracks of Dalton Ragsdale. Now a slide up to the top line, this time down the front straightaway. Nab the 2nd place spot away from Cody King. He has a drive on Dalton Ragsdale as well. Here comes Rowdy Day.
So Rowdy Day now going to go to the point through turns 3 and 4. Ragsdale trying to fight back to his inside. Can't get it done. Rowdy Day is the new leader in 20D. Cody King not giving up on the top side of the speedway. He'll drive around Dalton Ragsdale now. So Cody King back into the 2nd spot. Ragsdale, after leading about the opening handful of laps here, now looking solidly at the backside of 2 cars, running 3rd.
Just behind them, Dan Wheeler back in the 5th place spot. So Wheeler has made his way up into the top 5. Started 4th row on the inside. Solid run for the Savage Minnesotan. Meanwhile, out in front, Day is going to see some pressure now. Cody King back to the back bumper of the 20D. He'll duck down to the inside of Day, working off of turn number 2.
Right now, Cody King seems to be about the best one on the racetrack, able to get through the ruts in 1 and 2. Day trying to stay out of them, but every time he has to go up there, King's right there with him. Now King going to drive by at the entry point of turns 1 and 2. Day back to his inside. They're side by side down the back back straightaway. King grabs a fistful of concrete. Day slides up. King will drive underneath him. It's Cody King back to the point.
Yeah, Cody King ran out of room for a moment there down the back straightaway. Now he's taking the lead back away from Day. Day trying to take it back once more, though, side by side down the back straightaway. Working through some lap traffic here as well. King will have to change his line. He'll drop down the racetrack, dime in the corner, and grab the lead from Day, who makes contact with the lapped car down the front straightaway.
King absolutely changing his line through 3 and 4. Looked like he took the elevator all the way down to the basement after running at the top floor. Now he'll switch it up again, makes contact with the wall once again. Bo Day trying to come back to his inside. Excuse me, that's Rowdy Day in the 20D. Day will take the lead from Cody King once again.
Boy, these two just continue to go at it. Cody King back down to the inside of Rowdy Day. They'll remain wheel to wheel, working off of turn number 4. Day will lead at the line, but King right there ready to strike. Back through the cushion of turns 1 and 2. King to the back bumper once again to the 20D, but it's still Day down the back straightaway.
Day had run the cushion through 1 and 2. He knows that that's where Cody King's made a lot of speed. Now King tripped up through 3 and 4. Slammed the wall at the exit of turn 4.
Yeah, Cody King going to lose wholesale track position now to the 20D of Day, but we got a spinner down in turn number 4, and that is going to draw the caution flag. .218 of Cody Blanton around in turn 4, and we'll go under the yellow flag.
So you got to wonder about any kind of suspension damage for the 510 of Cody King. He absolutely hammered the wall off of turn number 4. Right side of the car coming up off of the racetrack. Looks like the right front tire on that race car might be leaned in a little bit more than normal. No fear as he wheeled it back down into turns 1 and 2, though. Still continues to run the top side of the racetrack as number 20D of Rowdy Day. That gave him some breathing room. That breathing room is gone. Field to restart right on the tail.
So getting the field realigned now back behind the 20D of Rowdy Day. So 5 laps now remain in tonight's Costin and Son Ready Mix USRA Limited Mod A main. So just 5 to go. Rowdy Day with control of the restart out in front. Back through turns 3 and 4 and back underway here for the USRA Limited Mods.
Rowdy Day with a good restart. He'll pull away by 2, 3, now 4, 5 car lengths down the back straightaway. Ragsdale going to reassume the battle with Cody King. King continues to work the top side of the speedway. Ragsdale along the bottom. They're 2 by 2 behind him off of turn 4.
Shannon Hartline there in a pretty good battle for the number 3 spot. He's going to make contact with the 23. I believe that was the 23M of Jimmy Day. So Hartline and Day come together, and it's just going to stack up 3 more victims there in turn number 2. So Hartline and Day come together through turns 1 and 2, collects a trio of cars down in turn 2, and we will be back under the caution once again in tonight's Costin and Son Ready Mix USRA Limited Mod A main.
So Pat Graham over there on scene at the bottom of turn 2. Looks like we've got multiple cars over there stacked up, Pat. And what's the situation down there? Are we going to be able to get these cars peeled apart?
Yeah, we're going to have to. We got 3 still stuck together. We're moving one away right now, and we're still going to have to get another wrecker to get the 22 car picked up off the 21 car. So it's going to take a couple minutes. I'm not sure. I don't see any flat tires on either one of these cars. Once we get them picked up off each other, they may be able to continue. A lot of body damage and bumpers and so forth, but I'd say we're going to have to, it's going to be a couple more minutes here before we get both these last 2 cars unhooked.
So field continues to pace around the Rocket Raceway Park. Again, the 20D of Rowdy Day. The man on the point, Cody King, runs second. The 22 of Dalton Ragsdale runs in the 3rd spot. The .109 of Trent Gibby, he started 20th, now inside the top 4. So a good run for that racer, as well as the G2G of Cody McDowell started 22nd. He rounds out your top 5 as we've got just, looks like 10 cars remaining on racetrack right now.
Certainly a race of attrition once again here in the Costin and Son Ready Mix USRA Limited Mod A main. Once we get the cars cleared from turn 2, we'll be good to go back racing this one. Rowdy Day, solid behind the wheel of a USRA Limited Mod. Seen him win several features under the USRA banner last season, off to a hot start once again here in 2022 as well. He's been able to fend off the 510 of Cody King and the 22 of Dalton Ragsdale. He and King in a pretty good battle for several laps as well.
Well, you know, we talked about it at the top of the show as well. It seems like these smaller racetracks kind of lend their hands to the racing being a little bit more even between the limited mod and B mod drivers. Cody King, of course, Dalton Ragsdale as well, both in USRA B mods. You know, wondering if the 20D of Rowdy Day is somebody we'll see later this month at the Humboldt Speedway.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, of course, those 2 rule packages. I mean, it was the case study for them both being pretty even there through the racing thus far here tonight. You had both types of cars battling for the lead in this one. Rowdy Day ultimately on top right now in the 20D, but Cody King's been in the picture for several laps as well. Clearing out the USMTS modifieds from the infield following post-race tech inspection as well. All the crews got some work to do of some sorts tonight, whether it's a little bit of maintenance, clean, and some sheet metal work. Everybody's going to be busy thrashing away come tomorrow here at the Rocket Raceway Park to get ready for tomorrow's 10,000 to win Summit Racing Equipment USMTS Modified A Main presented by Racing Dirt.
So it looks like we just about have the accident scene over at the bottom of turn 2 cleaned up. Quite a bit of bent up sheet metal here tonight at the Rocket Raceway Park. Like you said, a lot of teams, not just in the USMTS series, a lot of teams in the pit area are going to be busy during the day tomorrow. Got another night of racing action coming at you again, starting an hour earlier. Unofficially 5:45 scheduled for USMTS qualifying tomorrow evening. Same 4 divisions coming right back at you tomorrow night. Hope to see everybody back out here at the Rocket Raceway Park for the finale of the 12th annual Texas Spring Nationals.
So there we go, working on the final few laps of tonight's USRA Limited Mod A Main. Solid restart for Rowdy Day. He'll put a couple car lengths between himself and Cody King. King going to flash down to the inside of the racetrack, but it's going to be the 22 of Ragsdale along with the 109 of Trent Gibby with a solid run in that one. Gibby's work from deep in the field. He officially started 20th on the grid, now into the third place spot in the 109.
And Gibby with a good run here tonight. You know, give a tip of the cap to the 5'10" of King after pounding the wall like he did just a handful of laps ago. That car doesn't appear to be any worse for wear except for the sheet metal hanging down off of the back deck. Meanwhile, Rowdy Day continues to pull away from the front of the field. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go here tonight for your Limited Mod A feature event.
So final circuit around the Rocket Raceway Park. Rowdy Day takes it down the back straightaway with nearly a full straightaway advantage to the checkers off of turn number 4. Night number 1 at Rocket Raceway Park will go to the 20D of Rowdy Day.
5'10" of Cody King will finish in second. The 109 of Gibby third. Fourth will be the 123. He's going to set it on spin cycle at the bottom of 1 and 2. And Ragsdale will finish out your top 5. That's going to be the way they come across the line for your USRA Limited Mod A feature event. And that's going to put a wrap on night number 1. Pat Graham going to have a few words with your feature winner, the 20D of Rowdy Day.
Let him get his helmet off there. Fans, I know you had to stick around a little bit, but that feature, that was a heck of a race, Rowdy. I don't know how many lead changes you had. There was a lot, though. Walk us through some of those sliders and some of that passing back and forth with the lead.
Yeah, we definitely got a hell of a race car, and man, I enjoy racing with these B mods. I'm blessed with the best crew. I mean, I couldn't do without them. My mom, my dad. I'm really blessed. I can't thank them enough.
You want to thank some of your sponsors that help you do this too. I know your crew and family's important.
For sure. County Armory, that's my dude. He's my #1 sponsor. Ammo, guns, whatever. That's the guy you need to go to. Quick Latch products. Quick Stop. Let's see. A&B Diesel Performance. Tony Batt, that's my dude. Pop's Dirt Work, Danny Campbell AC and Electric, and the list goes on. 517, 4DR, my brother, Motorsports. I'm really blessed.
Well, it's a pretty good start to the week, and you'll be back here tomorrow night. Looking forward to try to go back to back.
Yes, sir. We'll be back. Hopefully we can get another one.
There you have it. Give a hand for Rowdy Day. Big feature win. Back up to you guys.
Thank you very much, Pat Graham. Like Eric alluded to, that's going to put a wrap on the action here tonight. #1 of the Rocket Raceway Park, 12th Annual Texas Spring National Season Opener for the USMTS Modifieds. On behalf of all the Race and Dirt crew, I'm Bryce Hall along with Eric Chesterman. We're signing off here on night #1. See you back here tomorrow, 5:45 qualifying time for the USMTS Modifieds. Good night and God bless.